Buddy, congratulations on being here and your acceptance to Memorial University. As Harim said, my name is Kimberly Stone. I am an officer at the Canada Border Services Agency. I'm not in uniform today. I am working behind the scenes these days, but when you do arrive to Canada, you will be meeting officers like myself. However, they will be in full uniform. I have a very quick presentation on our new feature, Advanced Declaration. It's just a few minutes long, and then I'll be happy to take any questions that you folks might have. So if you're ready to go. So Advanced Declaration, I'm going to talk a little bit about that. That is Advanced Declaration. You might think, according to this slide, that it's only for Canadian citizens, but it's actually not. It is for all travelers arriving to Canada. So that goes for visitors, students, workers. Anyone can use it. You would just have to download the ArriveCan application, which is available. And Advanced Declaration, it is basically a way to fill out your immigration and customs information in advance. You can do it up to 72 hours prior to your arrival in Canada. And then when you land, and most of you, actually probably all of you, will land at one of our top 10 airports in Canada. They have machines where you will scan your travel document, most likely your passport, and your declaration, which you submitted to us here at CBSA, will be ready already. You don't have to answer the questions when you arrive. You'll have already taken your time to answer all the questions. However, if for some reason last minute you pack something in your luggage, or you've removed something from your luggage, you can edit your declaration when you arrive. So it's not a carved in stone end result. You can make changes when you get here at the kiosk machine. So I do want to let you know how it works and what you will be where your information will go. So you would be submitting this information either on a laptop or your cell phone or tablet in advance, and it is stored in our cloud here at CBSA. And like I said, when you get to our airport, you'll be going to the primary inspection kiosk, scanning your travel document, and the information will come up. There will be a printout. An officer will review that, and as probably all, if not most of you, will need a study permit. They will then direct you to the location to get that study permit. So it doesn't mean you skip that step, and you still have to go through it, and you have to go through that study permit step prior to catching any second flights to Memorial University to get to Newfoundland. But at least your declaration part is done. So I do have a video now. It's just very quick. We'll basically tell you what Advanced Declaration is about. And here we go. Let's try and play that.
The Canada Border Services Agency is finding ways to deliver a better, faster, and more modern experience for travelers while keeping Canada safe. We know you have a busy life and want tools that can help you get you where you need to go quickly and safely. That's why the CBSA has created Advanced Declaration, an optional feature in ArriveCan that allows you to submit your customs and immigration declaration up to 72 hours before you arrive in Canada. The Advanced CBSA Declaration is optional and currently available to travelers arriving at certain Canadian international airports. Check the CBSA website for a list of Canadian airports where this option is offered. You can take advantage of this new feature by following just a few easy steps. But before you start, make sure you're using the latest version of the ArriveCan app and that your profile is up to date. To start your declaration, you'll be asked to consent to the terms and conditions of use and the privacy statement. Your privacy is our priority. The information you submit in your declaration is protected and will be automatically deleted after 72 hours. Next, You will be prompted to answer questions about your trip, such as where you are coming from and what you are bringing into Canada. These questions help the CBSA manage the flow at the border and keep you and our country safe. Lastly, you will be prompted to confirm your statements, and then you will submit your declaration to the CBSA. A confirmation screen will appear acknowledging that you have successfully submitted your declaration. You will also receive an email with this confirmation. At this point, you should now be able to view your advanced CBSA declaration e-receipt from your home screen in ArriveCan. Should something change with your information, you can always update things when you get to the airport kiosk or e-gate. Once in Canada and at a kiosk or e-gate, you will scan your travel document so that your declaration can be retrieved before finalizing the process. You will receive a printed receipt from the device, which you will need to show a Border Services officer. If you need assistance, Border Services officers are always available on your arrival. Our world is modernizing, and so are we. We are here to welcome you, and we're always ready to help.
Great. So just wanted to go over what some of the advantages are to using this application feature. So like I said, your declaration can be done at your own pace. I know that when people travel, they are exhausted, they are nervous, sometimes they just don't think straight. So here, you can go through it at your own pace and answer all the questions, knowing what you have in your bag and knowing the answers to all the questions, or can even do some research and maybe change your mind about bringing some of the items that you thought you might bring along with you. So you can, like I said, edit when you get here. So again, no panic. You can still edit and make changes. You don't have to interact so much with individuals because your whole declaration is on the device and in our cloud and will pop up as soon as you arrive. Eventually, this whole modernization tool will be expanded, but that part is for later. And technically, because you've answered all the questions, you're going to get through that kiosk much faster. Scan, say confirm, take your photo, move on to your next step. So I just wanted to pull this up quickly as a quick part of the presentation. As you might have seen this before, these handouts have gone out to all of our top universities across Canada, and it's just showing you, again, how to save time and where to get the application from if you need it. And that's pretty much it. And then that's it. It was very simple. We really encourage you to use it. We'll also know you're arriving at this airport. And as of right now, I am happy to take any questions that you might have. So I'm just gonna stop sharing if I can figure this out.
Okay, well, thank you. So I will go to my first one. So like some of you just mentioned that you're arriving on December 24th and 25th on Christmas Day. So I would like to remind everyone of very important information about the states. So the reason I'm emphasizing this information a lot is because I don't want you to feel lost after you arrive here first. And if it was me, I would be both surprised and disappointed if I wasn't informed in advance. And you may probably know already, I've tried to include this information as often as possible. But in case you haven't heard, I want to revisit this once more. So the Christmas and New Year's time here can be a little different from what you are used to. Like most people celebrate this time with their family and they travel to be with their family, and many businesses tend to be slow. So for example, most offices at the Memorial University, for one, will be closed, and so will a lot of other government offices. And depending on the offices, they would offer reduced services. So this is a calendar, as you can see, and starting the afternoon of 24th of Christmas Eve and the Christmas Day, Boxing Day, and New Year's Eve afternoon probably, and then January 1st. And in Memory University's case, January 2nd is like statutory holidays. So that means most places will be closed in the city and it will practically feel empty. Even grocery stores will be closed on the bank holidays, statutory holidays, which means it might be hard to get essentials you need in the city. And so you can see we have a MCP and Sync clinic on the 3rd when the university opens. So you can come to our office to get your SYN and MCP. I will revisit this information a little later. And the lecture begins, as you can see, on the 7th. So I understand. I understand why you buy flight tickets on the Christmas Day or January 1st. Flight tickets tend to be cheaper on those days. But this is the reason. If you have everything in place, or if you have family or close friends here, it could be no problem. But if your plan is to come here early to get things done, such as get housing arranged, find a job, open a bank account, get a mobile phone, make friends, and so on, it may not go as you planned. So there will be a limitation on the things you can get done, and you may end up spending more money actually during this time on accommodation and things, more than what you can save on flight tickets. So please consider this when you plan your travel dates. So for next, we'll go on to we'll just go through just a few more points. First, it's the ISNTEP. I hope most of you here are already using it, as it includes a lot of useful information for your arrival, such as pre and post arrival checklist here, and then info on housing, info on families, health insurance, and here I created a winter 2025 arrival menu with the most relevant information for your travel in this semester. So please have a look and make sure you know all the essential information for your smooth transition to the new life at MON and in St. John's. And another thing, please don't forget to update your arrival form. So don't forget to update your travel info, especially your arrival date and time as your plans get finalized. I know some students' travel plans are not finalized. You haven't bought the flight tickets yet. But you don't need to wait until you have all the final arrangements to first complete the form. You can just answer as they are, and then just make sure you update the information later. So why is it important? It's because we need this information to better support your arrival. For example, if no one is arriving at a particular time, there's no point that we send our greeters to the airport, as there will be no one to greet, right? If you checked your travel plan as hoping to arrive, please make sure to go back to update it that you booked your travel and enter your arrival date and time so you know you will be here. There is no limitation of how often you can update, how many times you can update. You can just update when you have new, more recent information. So I don't want to inundate you with too much information, but I want you to know there is this downloadable checklist. So you know how far you are in and how much you have left to do. You can download this form from our website and yes, from the iSend tab. So, and I've put some points here before you depart for your travel. I hope you have everything ready, such as all the required documents. So for your immigration process, your immigration process happens at your port of entry, like Kimberly mentioned, mostly in Toronto, Montreal, or in Vancouver. When you get on the final plane to St. John's, it's usually after all the immigration work is done and you can relax on the plane. And early health insurance, if you're arriving earlier than January 1st. I'll revisit this in the next slide. And the accommodation arranged, well, you need to check the check-in time. So because if you're arriving early on, let's say if you're arriving on January 1st, and if you're arriving at 1 a.m. or 2 a.m., you cannot check in until 3 p.m., which is the usual check-in time. So please check your check-in time and check in your arrival time. And the taxi fare from the airport. So St. John's Airport is very close to the city. It takes only about 10-minute drive to the campus. If you take a taxi from the airport to the campus, it'll cost about or less than 30 Canadian dollars depending on the time. It is more expensive at in the midnight. And essentials for your first week, like I said, many places can be closed. So bring your essentials at least for your first week, please. So early health insurance, it's kind of preview for tomorrow's info session, actually the health insurance session. You'll find more about it tomorrow, and I'll just give you a brief intro. So foreign health insurance is mandatory for all registered international students, and you'll be charged a foreign health insurance fee in your student account. And this coverage will be effective from January to April 30th for the winter semester. But if you are arriving before January 1st, you are advised to purchase additional insurance to cover you up to January 1st. It's because it can be very expensive if you happen to have to go to see a doctor, although I hope it doesn't happen to any of you. So you can purchase all insurance from the whole foreign health insurance provider by going to this Guard Me on our iSend tab, or you can find this on our website as well. So to learn more about this and then overall international health insurance, which is very important, I really hope you can attend our health insurance info session scheduled tomorrow. And at the beginning of each semester, representatives from Service Canada for SIN and the Department of Health and Community Service from Government of Newfoundland and Labrador, they visit our office to assist the students with their applications and answer any questions about your social insurance number or MCP, medical care plan. So this semester, it'll be on January 3rd and the 6th. And you can find more information on our iSend tab and on our website again. So when you come to submit your application, please remember to bring all the required documents. For SIN, you need original documents. For MCP, you need photocopied documents. And to be safe, if you're applying both, you can bring both. Here we have the last slide, but definitely not least. So if you let us know your correct arrival date and time at St. John's Airport, and if it is around the first week of the January, you will probably see our welcome desk in the arrivals area next to the NL Tourism Board when you arrive at the airport. And there will be airport greeters or a greeter who are student employees to welcome you and answer your questions about St. John's and the memorial. They can also help you find transportation to your accommodation. Please remember, they are not there to pay your taxi or hotel. I'm sorry. Please make sure you have the address to your accommodation, have taxi fare ready. So that concludes my short presentation about your arrival. Thank you for listening, and I will stop recording now and get questions.